Hello, and welcome back to Nico Plays. I am Nico of Death. Today we are going to be taking a look at TerraScape. Now this is a game I'd never heard of before, but I was scrolling through Steam and I noticed it and it looked interesting, and so I thought I'd give it a try and share it with you. So what is TerraScape? TerraScape is a puzzle city builder sort of game, and I'll get into some of the details of that as we get into it. But it's a very pretty game, and I've really been enjoying it so far. I have a few hours into it. There is a single player and a multiplayer option. We are going to be focused on single player today. And then there are 3 different types of modes you can play within single player. Kingdom mode is a more open-ended, no restrictions, no specific set goals you're trying to do. You're really just trying to build and have fun and get a high score with it. In scenarios, you're going to have specific objectives you're trying to achieve, and there's going to be limits on what you can build and how high you can upgrade things. And it's part of the challenge is to build with that limited set and unlock additional scenarios. In puzzles, the objective is to get a high score, and you're going to be more limited, and these are going to be more of a challenge and much harder. So it kind of goes from least restricted to most restricted. So far, I have only played the scenarios. I thought that having the more limited scope would make it a little bit easier for me to get the feel of things, but I've really been enjoying it. Today, though, let's take a look at Kingdom mode. So in Kingdom mode, there are going to be 3 different difficulty settings of sorts. The top 3, middle 3, and bottom 3. And then you get 3 different sizes of maps within each of those. Over here on the right, it shows what the available decks are for each of the scenario maps. In this case, you're going to have access to everything. And then likewise, it's going to give you the max keep level. And again, for Kingdom mode, that's going to be the highest, which is 6 right now. So let's go ahead and pick a medium and hit next. The other thing to note with Kingdom mode is you can play creative mode, and this is going to be completely unrestricted on what you can build and without a score. And so that way, if you just want to have fun, learn about it, or make a pretty settlement, you're going to be able to have that as an option. You can also cycle through different maps, and then the seed is something that if you enjoy it, you can save it or share it, or just type in something random. But this map looks pretty good. It's got some water, got some decent size. Let's go ahead and start the game. All right, welcome. So I've already played through, so I run ahead and reset the tutorial so we could take a look at it together because I thought it would be useful. What I'll talk through is about the basics. It's going to let you know how to play and some of the stuff like that. Let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing is moving around. There's 2 different ways you can do this. You can WASD it on the keyboard, or you can right click and drag. Now you can also move around by holding the scroll wheel and dragging and changing the angles like that. You can also use Q and E in order to scroll or rotate left and right. And then the scroll wheel gives you your zoom in and zoom out. All right, laying foundations. So the first thing you're going to need to do is place your main building. This is going to be your keep. So let's say got it. And down here is where you select your card. Now, the way that you build things in this game is that you get cards, and we'll see how that works out, but it isn't that you have like a build menu and you pick something to build. You're going to be dealt cards and use that to build. So we'll go ahead and grab my keep. And kind of standard stuff in terms of if you can't place it, it's going to be red. If you can, it will be green. And things that are red blocked show you can't build there. So let's find a place to put our keep. Let's go ahead and how about up here? We'll place it. I don't want to destroy that game. You know what? We'll just place it here. All right, so place to keep, and we can now upgrade it. So when the progress bar has been filled, you can upgrade your main building. You fill it by earning points, And as you earn points, you will also unlock additional decks. So it's this progress bar down here. Right now it just says 0, but after I upgrade, it will give us our next tier we're aiming for. So now we get into unlocking decks. You can think of decks as sort of like the tech tree in other strategy games. You're progressing through things and unlocking more advanced buildings and stuff like that. So when upgrading your main building, you can choose a new deck to unlock. Which decks you can choose depends on your current level and the decks you've unlocked before. So let's choose a deck to unlock. Right now we can get basic food or settlement. And let's go ahead and get basic food. All right, so I now have Gather Hut available. And you can see down here on the lower left, my new target is 240. So I want to get 240 points. That's going to let me upgrade my keep again. Over here on the right, well, actually, let's talk about decks first. So it says I'm out of building, so I don't have any cards, and I've earned more points by placing my main building. So I have enough to get a new deck. So let's click the deck button. And right now, because I only have the basic food deck unlocked, that's going to be the only one I see here. We'll go ahead and select it. And influence. So when placing a building, consider its range and its influences. The score can be influenced by the biome or its surrounding resources and buildings. All right, so let's talk through how that works. So I'm hovering over Gather Hut, and you can see above it, it gives me what's going to make up this score. I'm going to pause here and talk about score. The score that you get is really what you're trying to achieve. You're going for a high score. That's the objective. And so you want to consider where you're placing your buildings because it's going to be important for maximizing your score. On this example, on the left, you can see that it receives a bonus in green on grass and arid, and then it's going to take a hit on that score for rural and urban. Additionally, you can receive bonuses or lose points from fruit farm, berry bush, farmstead, etc. And it's going to be from the most points gained to the most points lost in terms of how all of those are set up. So let's take a look at our tutorial window. When you select a building card, you'll see a live preview of all the influences that affect the score. The number above the building shows you how many points you will receive. So let's go ahead and click our card. And you can see over here on the right, it's also going to give me that influence information. And let's find a place to put it. So as I move it around, you can see I get different points showing up above it. The points are going to go from bronze, silver, gold, and diamond in terms of the tiers. Right now at 15, this is worth a bronze. If I scroll over here, I go to 25, which is a silver. I don't know if I have any gold options right now. Maybe here. Yeah, here we go. So we've got these 3 berry bushes. So you can see I get a bonus of 15 per berry bush, and that's going to give me a gold of 55. So I could place it there. Let's see if I have any other good options down here. Here we go. So this looks like a good spot. I can get 75 for putting it right here. So let's go ahead and do that. And you can see down on the bottom, my scores are filling up. That's going to unlock the next tier of my keep. And it's also going to unlock the ability to get more decks. When you're placing a building, one thing to keep in mind, any resources that you've built on will be destroyed. So you can see down here, we've got berry bushes. We have game. If I were to place a building on one of these, that resource would go away and I could no longer use it to get points. The other thing to keep in mind is once you've placed a building, the score is only counted once. So even if I were to do something that would change the score of this building, if it had already been there, once this building gets placed, I can't change the score I got for it. So the 75 points I received for placing this down, that's going to be all I can get. So timing matters. That's kind of highlighting that point. The order in which you place things can be important. So if you have multiple buildings to place and one is going to provide a bonus influence to the other, you want to place the one's going to give you that bonus first, because you're not going to be able to affect the score once it's been placed. All right, the other thing to point out is you can recycle. So down here in the lower right, it's going to tell you how many points you can get if you recycle this card. So if you have cards that you're not interested in trying to build, you can go ahead and recycle them and get some points and help you level up that way. For drawing decks, you are going to build up your progress bar. Once it's filled, you will get another draw. So this is letting you know that it's going to show you the number. So in my case, I have one draw. When you don't have any more that you can draw and you don't have any more cards to place, the game is going to end. You're not going to be able to earn any more points, and you need more points in order to get more decks to draw. This is a nice feature. You can undo things. So if you've placed a building or used a card, you can undo it. So if you did something by mistake, you can go ahead and hit undo and undo that movement. You can only undo the last thing that you did, and you can only undo a card placement. You're not going to be able to undo a draw or a deck choice. And this is letting you know that when you're feeling like you're done, you can come up here and finish the game, and it will end the play session. All right, it says I have the basics down. Oh, right, the other thing, as you unlock new things, this is going to let you know what you're advancing towards. So you can see here, for basic food, I'm at 75 of 150 points. When I hit 150 points, I'll unlock the next building in that deck. So with that, let's go ahead and play some more. Some other map options over here in the lower right, you can show and hide the grid. So you can see the grid turning on and off. You can show and hide the resources. You can also hold left Alt, and the resources will show up while you're having that held down. You can show and hide the buildings. You can show and hide the blocked tiles, so those red tiles. And you can show and hide the building synergies, which I don't have anything that's going to show for that right now, but I'll point that out when I can. Let's go ahead and turn the resources on. So one of the things I really like about this game is it's quite pretty. It's fairly simple, but it is kind of nice looking in terms of the details they add. So you've got some eagles here in the mountains. And let's take a look at our keep. You got little people walking around. So I enjoy that. The other thing you'll notice is the banner here. This is my custom designed banner. So you can design your own banner and it will be displayed in the game. But let's get back to trying to earn some points. So we have Gather Hut. So let's play some more of those. So as I'm placing this, I want to get to, well, we'll unlock it in just a moment. There we go. So I've created a merge. And let me expand over here. So there are merged buildings, and as you can see, there's quite a few, and the one I just made is this fruit farm. So I put 3 gathering huts in this pattern. They merged together, and they created a fruit farm, and they gave me 2 place berry bushes cards, and then it expanded grass on the surrounding tile. So if there hadn't been grass on these surrounding tiles already, it would have put grass on there. There are different types of merge things you can unlock. Some are relatively simple, like the berry bushes I just did. Others are more complex, like you can see here. This forest settlement has cottages and wells and all this other stuff. So we'll get into some of these in a bit. You can also see ones that you have not yet uncovered, And some of these will give you hints as to what it's going to take. So in this example, I need 3 gathering huts in this pattern and then some other mystery building to come up here. Fusion, there we go. So I've merged a building, large structures that are created when placed buildings in certain combinations. Yes, they can only be built when there are no steep cliffs, so that is important. We'll take a look at that in just a second. All right, and they are over here in the glossary. So here's, you can see all of the ones you've unlocked and then how many you have not unlocked. You can see there's quite a few. All right, so let's take a look at that elevation. So you can see here, there's different heights on things. You can't have cliffs between your buildings if you're trying to merge them. So keep that in mind. You do get cards to raise and lower elevation though, so you can use that to your benefit. Let's come back to this view. You can also hit C and reset your camera view. So let's choose a new deck. So my basic food, I have this little plus because it lets me know I have a new building, and it's the hunting cabin. As you can guess, you get a bonus with a game. So that's going to be these little deer looking icons. So let's find a good place for you. So we've got some game over here. We can get 65. Oh, here we go. Look at this. 105. Let's put you... Yeah, I think it's going to be as good as I can get. So let's put you there. And with that, I can upgrade my keep. So let's go ahead and do that. So I did basic food. I can now unlock forestry or settlement. Let's go ahead and unlock settlement. I think that's going to make sense. You can also see my keep itself did get upgraded. I now have stone, some stone walls. It's not just wood anymore. So we are getting fancier. All right, I also unlocked new decks. So, special edition. After reaching main building level 2, you can also draw special cards. Special cards have been unlocked via your progression level and ventures, which you can find in your profile. Got it. All right, so this remove resource, this is a special card. So I mentioned that you get cards that can raise and lower elevation. Those are going to show up here as special cards. The way that these deck draws work is that every time you've drawn one, it will give you a random selection of 3 from the different decks you have available. So in my case, I only have 2 decks available, so that's going to be an easy one. And then within that deck, you're going to get some number of cards or some variety rather of cards from within that deck that you have unlocked. So in this case on the settlement, it's gonna, you can see where it says possible buildings, cottages. I will only have cottages until I unlock more. For basic food, you can see I have gathering huts and hunting cabins. So I have a possibility to get either of those. So let's go ahead and unlock our cottages and start placing these. So I do get a bonus around the megalith. So let's go ahead and place a couple around here. Now these aren't worth as much, but I want to go ahead and unlock this longhouse, so I'm going to do that. And you can see now I have this lower land option. So because I chose the deck last time, the 3 options I get this time I open it are going to be different. I like to keep some lower lands and raised lands on hand, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up now. And then let's see, what do I need 15 more points to get my next food option. So let's go ahead. Let's place some berry bushes. We'll continue our berry bushes over here. And then let's unlock, let's take the raised land. And then now we'll take a basic food. I like to pick up the raise and lower lands early on because I'm not necessarily risking not getting one of the decks I want, because I only have 2 options right now. All right, so now I have my 3 gathering hut options. So Nice, we'll drop that one for 100. This one for 75. Let's grab this guy for 75. And I was not paying attention to the order I placed those in. So I can undo that if I want to. And I can turn it into a farm. That's only worth 40. You know what? I will get a bonus. I think the bonus I get is only worth 10 though. So let's take a look. If you come over here and you look at the fruit farm, yeah, I don't get any additional bonus. So maybe I will go for the 75 for now. So you can see I now have more basic food options. I have a wheat field unlocked. Let's go ahead and grab this lower land though. One thing to note is that if you are pretty low on your score, you probably don't want to pick up the Raisin Lower Lands. You're instead going to want stuff that's going to give you points. So I would not recommend grabbing these all the time because you are still going to need points to advance and get more decks. So now I can place wheat fields. So these do well on grass. They get a less bonus on arid. So let's take a look out here. If you actually, let me show, if you hover over, it will tell you what the biome is. So you can see these are all arid, these are grass. You can also kind of tell just by how it looks in terms of the difference in the biomes. For our wheat fields, let's place them out here. So, sure, we'll go here with them. Then let's put some cottages down. I am not going for a high score on this playthrough. I should probably note I'm just doing a little bit of everything. It is good to keep in mind, like, you're going to want to be strategic with where you place things. As you unlock more merged buildings, you'll kind of start to pay attention to what you need. So for example, for a farmstead, I need 3 wheat farms in this pattern and then a cottage right here. So I could have done that when I was placing these. I did not. And that's kind of what I meant where I'm not paying that close attention to my score. But it's going to be important for you to remember, or at least kind of check what bonuses you can get from merging buildings and what patterns you're going to want to aim for. And then as you're placing things down, keep in mind the future, you're going to get other buildings that you can place and what you might need in order to get some extra points there. So let's go ahead and get some more cottages down. We'll place them back over here by our keep in this megalith. And I've unlocked the well. So let's go ahead and grab the well. Now this is going to do well in the rural, and then I get bonuses from longhouses and megaliths and cottages, and as you can see, some other stuff. So let's take a look here. I can get 40 if I place it down right here. We'll go for that. And then let's go back to food. Oh, wheat fields. This is a special card. So this is different from a normal wheat field. Gold, but you can see in that hover over, it says increases the range by 1, has other biome influences, has other building / merge building influences. So you can see that a normal wheat field, if you recall, you lost points with rural and urban, and with this one you don't. You also can note that I'm getting additional bonuses. I think that you only got 15 for grass and 10 for arid with the normal wheat field. And then the other really big point is the range increase by 1. So you're going to get additional range on how wide it's looking for those bonuses. So you know what? Let's go ahead and not do anything with that yet. I'm going to wait to place those until I can get a bigger bonus with them. Let's go ahead and grab another basic food and see. All right, so here you can actually compare. You get 30 for grass, 10 for arid, and then you don't get any building bonuses for a regular wheat field. And with this one, you can see I get all of those additional bonuses. So quite a big difference. There are different special cards for different buildings. They'll be very obvious like this, but keep a lookout for those and place them in the strategic points. I also just noticed I can upgrade my keep. I was not paying attention. So let's go ahead and get forestry. Do I want to get forestry or community? Let's do community. All right, but for now, I will come back over here and I'll actually make my farmhouse, I think is what it is, or farmstead. Yeah, farmstead. And now, if I were to place this wheat field here, I would get 75 points for it. So let's go ahead and do that. And we will... Oh, I did not mean to do that. Let's undo. I was not paying attention to that one. All right, instead, let's get these wheat farms and a cottage. And that's going to give us another farmstead. And now I can get 85 for dropping that guy down. So I probably could get even better if I really was making an attempt. All right, enough of that though. Let's continue. So I need quite a few, another 745 points to unlock the next basic food. So let's not worry about that just yet. Instead, let's go back to building some cottages. Let's get more settlement. Oh, right, community. So I can build a tavern. So, my first tavern's a special one. And you can see I'm going to receive bonuses for rural and arid, and then for those different buildings. So if I take a look here, I can get 120, 120, 100. Looks like 120 is pretty common, but I'm going to wait and get some more settlement cards. There we go. I want more. I wanted that other longhouse before I placed a tavern, which apparently I should not have. I was not paying attention. Oh, well. Looks like 115 is now my max. What did I do? Oh, I lost a rural. That's why. All right. You know what? Let's come over here. $140. That's better. All right, so I'm going to work on unlocking some additional cards for us to look at, and then we will be right back. All right, so we are ready to upgrade our keep again. I've built some more stuff. So we can now unlock food stuff or fishing. So let's go ahead and do food stuff. Now, I have to admit, I've only done basic food, forestry, settlement, and community, so any other decks are going to be brand new to me, so we'll be learning it together. Brewery is now available. Now, one of the things that's interesting about this game is that I've seen it described as a city builder, but it doesn't seem entirely like a city builder. It sort of is, but sort of isn't. And it's interesting, I was thinking about this, because this is really, it leans more into the puzzle than the city builder. But what's interesting to me about that is, like, city builders really are just puzzle games, right? Like, you're just trying to maximize where to place things the most effectively. This just seems to lean into that even more so. So that's kind of an interesting take on it, I was thinking. But, all right, for a brewery, looks like it's going to do well by fruit farms. I've got a bunch of fruit farms over here. So can I do better than 140? Yes, 165. Let's go ahead and drop one down there. And windmill is now available. So it is interesting as well because instead of there being like supply chains you're trying to create or anything like that, you're really looking for just physically placing things near each other or in appropriate places in order to maximize that score. So like with a city builder, you do want to place things next to each other or in good spots in order to be efficient. It's kind of the same thing here. You're trying to place your buildings in the most effective place in order to maximize that score. I don't know. It's just an interesting way I was thinking about it. All right. Oh, I did not mean to do that, but no matter. I'll survive. Let's go ahead and get a cottage here. How am I doing on my community settlement? All right, I need 800 in order to get the next tier on settlement buildings. I really want to unlock houses. Let me work on that. So what else goes with a brewery? It looks like we have just any merged building gives you 30. Okay. Manor farms, need houses for that. And then berry bushes. Okay, so one thing to note is I have this here. So speaking of placing buildings, you don't necessarily want to place certain buildings next to each other or near each other. So you can see here, I'm getting a -40 for having another brewery, which you could also see in the info on the right there. But something to keep in mind. It's just you will lose points for putting certain buildings near each other. The other thing to call out, because I mentioned I would, when I talked about having the building synergies turned on or off on the map, that's going to be these green highlights that you see. It's letting me know that that building is going to give me a bonus by placing next to it. And over here, I don't have any. So something to keep in mind there. All right, I can get 110. Let's go ahead and grab that. And then I need to really increase my settlement score. So let's build some more cottages. So you can see here, I have these different land tiers, and I'm going to want to even these out so that I will be able to get a bonus building here. So you can see that's kind of how terraforming works. Is I was able to raise and lower them such that I'm able to now build my longhouse with the merged building. All right, let's do some more cottages. Let's take a look here. It looks like it says I've unlocked something new. I am not sure what I unlocked, though. I think I already had all of these. I guess maybe just one of the yellow dots. So the yellow dot means that you know something about it, but you don't know everything about it yet. Yes, okay, so a windmill. So I'm going to bet that might be a house, and maybe you're getting a milling station, or maybe there's a yet unlocked building that's going to go here. So something to keep in mind. Oh, and then this is very similar. So keeping that in mind. Wheat on one side or wheat on the other side. All right, good to know. And let's see what else we've uncovered. Okay. A brewery and 3 gathering. Let's see. So I can build that down here if I lower this land. And then let's get us some gathering huts. This one there. Let's see if we can get some more. The windmill went with wheat farm. We don't have any individual wheat farms available. So let's do this. Let's lower these two. And then we'll drop a wheat field here and a windmill here. And then we'll see what might go here. It's probably a different building, but nope, it's not a cottage. We'll save that cottage then. All right, let's see if we can get some more berry bushes. That's what I'm working on. or gathering huts. Now my basic food just keeps giving me more wheat. All right, well, let's get some more wheat. I do need more settlements as well. So demolition cards, these come in handy. You can demolish a building. You're not going to get anything bonus for that or anything, but if you place something that you later need to remove for a bigger bonus, you do have that as an option, so that is nice. Bonus well. I don't think I have any good spots for this. So I get 90 if I place it here. 90 is pretty good for a well. We'll go ahead and take that, right? Now let's get our cottage first. So let's do this. Let's do a cottage, and a cottage. And then now, still only 120. Okay. I really thought, I guess I don't get any additional bonuses for cottages. All right. And that is a diamond on the score. All right, let's do some more wheat fields and cottages over here. Get some more farmsteads. All right, gather nuts. Now I can do it. Do that and that. What did we unlock? Looks like a vineyard. Yes, a vineyard. So that gave me a hops field and spread grass. So let's see what a hop field gets us. Bonus from grass, manor farms, and breweries. Okay, well, 110. Like 110 is the best I'm going to get. But what other bonuses do I get from that one? So grass gives me 30. I don't get anything for berry bushes. Good to know. Stone gives me something interesting. Okay. I will go ahead and drop it there. 110 is not too shabby. And then what's my elevation here? Okay, if I raise this, I should be able to drop a cottage right there. And then 2 wheat fields. I probably should be a bit more intentional with some of these buildings. I'm just trying to unlock houses. There we go. All right, so with houses, you can do some more fun stuff. This is what you need in order to get city districts and what's the other one? Where's my manor farms? That's it. So these will give you some more bonuses. So one of the things to keep in mind also, let me sort these by quality. So the quality of the card is going to kind of determine the lowest or the base level for your points. So down here I have cottages, which are no stars. And then up here I have a tavern, which is 3 stars. So that's going to give you an idea of how many points you can get for this building. So with cottages, for example, you know, I'm in gold just by getting 20 points. So 20 points gives me a gold tier for the cottage. Whereas with a tavern, you know, 45 is still silver, but 60 is going to be gold. And as you get up, some of these are going to be much higher, where your gold tier is significantly more points in order to achieve that. Let's go ahead and start working on getting some houses down, though, and see if we can unlock some city districts. So one thing in all my playthroughs, I always forget that houses do well next to the keep, and I almost never leave myself room near my keep in order to build on it. So that is a failing on my part. But let's go ahead and start dropping some houses down over here. Grab a lower land and then see if we can get settlements. There we go. What was that grand demolition? I should have looked at that. I've not seen that before. Let's go ahead. We'll drop a well right there. And then a tavern right there. Bathhouses. So with bathhouses, that's another community. These are going to do well in urban areas. They also do well, really well, next to manor farms. But city districts they do pretty decently with as well. So you can see around the city district, I'm going to get 30 points for that. So I'm going to hold off on placing that one just yet. Instead, let's see if we can grab some more houses. What's my elevation looking like over here? Now if I do a bathhouse, 105, much better. All right, so that's TerraScape. I actually really enjoy this game. I think it's a lot of fun. I am still learning quite a bit around what combinations and strategy and things like that, but it's a really pretty game. I enjoy the aesthetic. It's a really chill, cozy game. Like, it's nice to just kind of zone out and play it, but I'm really enjoying it. I wanted to share it with you. Like I said, I think that it is on sale through the end of July 2024, so I'll leave a link down in the description. Let me know what you think. If you want to try it out, or if you want more videos about this or more videos about other games, let me know. I love the feedback. I really appreciate everyone who has been giving me feedback, and until next time.